Hey podcaster, I'm Tim Wahlberg, your podcast performance coach with another actionable tip so you can grow your podcast authority, generate leads, and convert with ease. Today's tip is 100 of the right listeners can grow your business more than 10,000 random ones. Time for a pop quiz. How many downloads do you need to have a successful podcast? 10,000 an episode? 1 million overall? You might be nodding right now because these are the kinds of numbers we hear from top podcasts like the Joe Rogan Experience, Crime Junkie, or Call Her Daddy. But most podcasts, and I'm talking about like 99.99% of them, don't get anywhere near the millions we hear about and are still very successful. In fact, according to Buzzsprout's 2025 global podcast statistics, 50% of the top podcasts only get 30 downloads per episode in the first 7 days of publication. Stand by. I'm holding for gasps. And there's the last one. Now, there you go, right? Shocking, isn't it? If you were to get 100 downloads per episode, you'd be in the top 25%. Getting close to 500 downloads, you're in the top 10%. Over 5,000, top 1%. Being in that top 1% with 5,000 downloads or more is often what podcasts consider, quote, unquote, successful. That's because if you're looking for a sponsor, that is usually the minimum they need to see before they'll consider talking dollars. But, and this is a big but, it all depends on your audience. If you've gathered an engaged 4,000 listeners per episode in a hard-to-reach niche, you might make more money from a sponsor than someone with twice your audience in an oversaturated category. Now, if you've listened to my show before, for example, episode 173, How to Make Money from Podcasting, then you know, spoiler, I think there's a better way to monetize your podcast than waiting for a sponsor or network to throw money at you. Yes, a very small, microscopic percentage of podcasters are making millions from sponsorship, but way more podcasters make money by selling to their audience, not selling their audience. It all comes down to getting the right listeners, not getting as many listeners as possible. Imagine 100 ideal clients sitting in a room week after week, giving you their full attention for 20 to 30 minutes. They show up, press play for you. That's powerful. That's influence. And that's enough to move the needle in your business. Now compare that to 10,000 random listeners who will never buy from you, never hire you, never take the next step. Sure, the numbers look impressive, but what's the point if it doesn't grow your business? What's the point if you can't convert any of them? The truth is you don't need huge numbers to have a successful podcast. It all depends on your definition of success. Most of my clients are entrepreneurs or business owners who don't need and can't handle millions of new clients. They want to double or even 10x their revenue, which means they are looking for dozens or hundreds of new clients, not millions. So for many podcasters, success can come from getting in front of 30 new potential leads per week. When they have their podcast properly set up to feed their funnels, that volume can lead to a few new high-ticket clients per week who will pay far more than a sponsor. Cha-ching! I also meet and work with thought leaders looking to expand their visibility and boost their authority with a podcast. You might be thinking that they need those big numbers to be successful. Wrong again. Publishing and sharing their podcast consistently does the trick. Yes, even if they are in that top 25 to 50% range with 30 to, say, 100 listeners per episode. It improves visibility. It builds SEO on their website and helps potential clients or collaborators hear what they have to offer. I've had clients with fewer than 100 downloads per episode secure speaking gigs worth 5 figures, which is more than most sponsors will pay. Cha-ching again. The point is, audience size isn't a very good measure for success in podcasting. There are a lot of different reasons to start and maintain a podcast. So get really clear on why you are podcasting so that you can set a clear and appropriate measure of success, not just the downloads your ego craves. For example, you might measure engagement. Are listeners finishing episodes, reaching out, joining your list? You could measure conversions on calls booked, programs sold, or speaking gigs. You might even measure your authority based on SEO or mentions of you as the go-to in your space. Any of these metrics will mean more to your bottom line than download numbers. Having 100 of the right listeners can grow your business more than 10,000 random ones. And I hope that's just the tip you need. If you've been chasing numbers and aren't seeing an ROI in your business, or if you're trying to attract sponsors and getting no nibbles, it might be time to realign your show. That's exactly what we do in the Podcast Tune-Up. It's a one-on-one coaching program where you can work directly with me to set your podcast up for success in less than 60 days. Visit my website, podcastperformancecoach.com, to book your free 15-minute private coaching session. And we can talk about whether the Podcast Tune-Up is right for you. Book your free private podcast coaching call by using the link in the show notes or at podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Wohlberg. See ya!